is your STAR mock exam. Remember, this is just to see how much you've learned up until now, and then later on we'll do it again and we'll see just how much better you've gotten at everything. So remember to pause in between questions, and you can rewind at any time to listen to a question again. Number 1. Amber saved a total of $3.20 over 5 weeks. She saved the amount of money each week. She saved the same amount of money each week. How much money did Amber save each week? Pause. Number 2. A scientist compared these two measurements. Which symbol makes this comparison true? Pause. Number 3. Emily has a box shaped like a rectangular prism that is full of sugar cubes. Each sugar cube has a volume of 1 cubic centimeter. The top layer has a width of 6 centimeters and a length of 11 centimeters. There are 3 layers of sugar cubes. And the question is, how many sugar cubes are in the box? Pause. Number 4. The shaded part of the model represents a fraction. Another fraction was subtracted from the first fraction. Which expression does the model represent? Pause. Number 5. The relationship between numbers in list X and list Y follows the rule Y equals X plus 2 and 5/100ths. Which diagram shows this relationship? Pause. Number 6. A rectangular billboard is 9 and 35/100ths meters wide and 6 and 82/100ths meters tall. What is the perimeter of the billboard in meters? So you're going to record this on a gridable on your answer sheet. Pause. Number 7. The stem and leaf plot shows the number of minutes the members of a team jumped rope during practice. What is the difference between the least number of minutes jumped and the greatest number of minutes jumped? Pause. Number 8. The math team does practice drills that each last 1/6 hour. In February, the team did practice drills for a total of 24 hours. How many practice drills did the math team do in February? Pause. Number 9. What are the coordinates of the point where the x-axis and the y-axis intersect on a coordinate plane? Pause. Number 10. The table shows the heights and masses of a male gorilla and a female gorilla at a zoo. Based on the table, which statement is true? So I'm going to give you a minute to look at the table, and then we'll read the answer choices. F. The combined mass of the male gorilla and the female gorilla is 253 and 782 thousandths kilograms. The combined mass of the male gorilla and the female gorilla is 253 and 783 thousandths kilograms. I'll give you a minute to look at that table and see what you think about that one. G. The mass of the gorilla is 63 and 507 kilograms greater than the mass of the female gorilla. The mass of the male gorilla is 63 and 507 thousandths kilograms greater than the mass of the female gorilla. I'll give you a minute to look at the chart again. H. The female gorilla is 1 and 28 hundredths meters shorter than the male gorilla. The female gorilla is 1 and 28 hundredths meters shorter than the male gorilla. Pause. Oh, sorry, no, don't pause it. I have one more question for you to look at. Or one more answer choice. J. The combined height of the male gorilla and the female gorilla is 2 and 28 hundredths, 2 and 28 thousandths meters. The combined height of the male gorilla and the female gorilla is 2 and 28 thousandths meters. So now that you know all of the answer choices, go back. One of them or a couple of them should have sounded like they might be the right ones. So we'll go back and figure out the actual answer. Pause. Number 11. Thomas planted a seed and measured the height of each stem each week for 4 weeks. The stem grew 1 inch in the first week. The stem grew 2 inches each week after the first week. Which graph represents the growth of this plant? Pause. Number 12. Aspen added 14 to the product of 224 and 16. What is this sum? Pause. Number 13. Brenda said that the number 2 is prime because it only has 2 factors. Carla said that the number 2 is composite because it is even, and all even numbers are composite. Who is correct? Pause. Number 14. Theo earned $500 selling food at a carnival. He earned $260 selling nachos, and the rest selling hot dogs for $2 each. Theo used this equation to find H, the number of hot dogs he sold at the carnival. How many hot dogs did Theo sell at the carnival? Pause. Number 15. In the diagram shown, each circle represents a group of polygons. If a polygon belongs in a circle, it also belongs in any larger circle. Which kind of polygon belongs in the shaded circle? Pause. Number 16. Margaret opened a new case of light bulbs. The case contained 3 boxes of light bulbs, with 8 light bulbs in each box. Margaret threw 2 of these light bulbs in the trash because they were damaged. Then she took 7 of the light bulbs out of the case. Which expression can be used to show that there are 15 light bulbs still in the case? Pause. Number 17. Mia's dog weighs 32 6/10 pounds. Letty's dog weighs 3 8/10 times as much as Mia's dog. What does Letty's dog weigh in pounds? Pause. Number 19. The length of a piece of yarn is 19 2/10 units. Jessie cut the piece of yarn into 4 smaller pieces that were all the same length. Which expression represents the length of each of the smaller pieces of yarn? Pause. Number 20. A definition of a financial term is shown in the box, and that term is a tax that includes Social Security and Medicare taxes and is paid by an employer. Which term best fits the definition? Pause. Number 21. A park bench is located 16 3/4 feet due north of an elm tree. A fountain is located 9 1/2 feet due south of the same elm tree. What is the distance between the park bench and the fountain? What is the distance in feet between the park bench and the fountain? I apologize for yawning. Pause. Number 23. Nathan built the hanging mobile shown in the picture to show the relationships among shapes. Which shape goes in the empty box in order to complete Nathan's mobile? Pause. Number 24. Which table represents the equation y equals 3x? Pause. Number 25. Which list shows the numbers not in order from least to greatest? Which list shows the numbers not in order from least to greatest? Pause. Number 26. Mr. Gonzalez is putting in a fence around the perimeter of a playground. The perimeter of the playground is 144 feet. Each section of the fence is 4 feet long and costs $12. Which equation can Mr. Gonzalez use to find B, the cost of the sections of fence he needs for the playground? Pause. Number 27. Gabriel bought a dog crate shaped like a rectangular prism with the dimensions shown in the model. What is the area in square inches of the shaded floor of the dog crate? Number 28. The graph shows the number of students at 5 schools who ride the bus to school. Based on the graph, how many students ride the bus to the Woodlands, Hillcrest, and Lakeview schools? Record your answers and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use correct place value. Pause. Number 29. Mrs. Olson has 1/8 acre of land divided into 6 equal parts. What is the size of each part? Pause. Number 30. The table shows the height of 10 seedlings. Which dot plot represents these data? Pause. Number 31. The list shows the length of a day on 2 different planets. Neptune is 16 and 11/100 hours. Venus is 5,832 and 40 or 4/10 hours. Which statement is best supported by the information? So take a look at that information real quick. And then let's look at the answer choices. A day on Venus is about 40 times as long as a day on Neptune. A day on Venus is about 40 times as long as a day on Neptune. I'll let you look at that for a second. And then B, a day on Venus is about 400 times as long as a day on Neptune. B, a day on Venus is about 400 times as long as a day on Neptune. C, a day on Venus is about 50 times as long as a day on Neptune. C, a day on Venus is about 50 times as long as a day on Neptune. Or D, a day on Venus is about 500 times as long as a day on Neptune. Again, D, a day on Venus is about 500 times as long as a day on Neptune. So now go back. You should have seen one that you thought maybe was right. And now go back and go ahead and work it and figure it out. Pause. Number 32, an expression is shown. What value is equivalent to the expression? Pause. Number 33, Miss Sykes paid a total of $95.40 for a 12-month magazine subscription. She paid the same amount each month. What amount did Miss Sykes pay each month? Pause. Number 34. 3 points are plotted on the coordinate grid. Which table represents the data plotted in the graph? Pause. Number 35. Mr. Roosevelt has 48 nails that each weigh 1 and 35 hundredths ounces. What is the weight of these nails in ounces? Pause. Number 36. The shaded cube has a volume of 1 cubic unit. Cubes like this one will be used to completely fill a rectangular prism that has the dimensions shown. How many of these shaded cubes will be needed to completely fill the rectangular prism? So go ahead and take your time on that last question. Go back, listen to any of the questions that you need to again. Take your time, and no worries.